This is the Battery Beak by Across the Road Electronics, and it's an incredibly helpful tool for teams and technical volunteers. It allows you to check the health of a battery and determine how it's going to perform if you try to use that battery during a match. Once you have it set up, testing your battery is as easy as plugging in the battery, turning the Battery Beak on, pressing the button, and seeing the results. It works with the sealed lead-acid batteries used by the first robotics competition, or with an adapter, the nickel metal hydride batteries used by the first tech challenge. You can buy it directly from Cross the Road Electronics, or if you buy it from AndyMark, you can optionally choose to receive the adapter cable you need in order to use it for first tech challenge. When you first receive the device, it's going to be set up for a lead-acid battery with 17 amp hours of capacity, and we need to change this in order to use it for the first tech challenge. To do this, we just need to plug it into a battery, press the button once to get to the splash screen, and then hold the button for 3 seconds to go to the settings. While we're in the settings, we can hold the button for 1 second to select something and press it quickly to navigate through the menu. The first thing we want to change is the type of battery, so we'll hold for 1 second and then choose nickel metal hydride as the type of battery for the first tech challenge, and then hold again to select it. The battery is already selected at 12 volts, which is what we want. When it comes to the capacity of the battery, we should double check what is written on the battery itself. In this case, for a REV flat pack battery, it's 3000 milliamp hours. So we want to choose 3 amp hours on the Battery Beak. Once we have everything set correctly, it is very important to make sure we exit and save so that these settings are persisted after we unplug the Battery Beak. We're now ready to test a battery, so we can press the button once to move over to a battery test. If you're going to run a serious test on one of your batteries, it's important that you charge it all the way up and let it rest for at least 15 minutes after you take it off the charger. Batteries that have just come off a charger behave and test a little bit differently than the way that you would actually use them during a match. Once you run the test, the top 2 lines are the highlights of how your battery is doing. The top one will say either good, fair, or bad. A good battery is one that you should feel comfortable using in a competition setting. A fair battery is one that's probably better used in a practice setting, and a bad battery is one that you should consider recycling whenever you can. The second line indicates the current level of charge for the battery. Hopefully you're running this test when you've just charged the battery all the way up to 100% and let it rest for at least 15 minutes. If the Battery Beak says that the battery is good or fair, but the current level of charge is much lower than 100%, it may be worth taking a look at your charger to make sure that it's performing correctly. Below these 2 top lines is some additional data that shows how the Battery Beak came to its conclusion. Specifically, it's showing you how the voltage of the battery changes under increased load, and it's using all of this data to make a measurement of the internal resistance of the battery. Here, a lower number is better, and you can use this number to determine the amount of power loss that has occurred due to the battery's age. I encourage you to get your hands on a Battery Beak if you are able to, and if you do, just remember to charge the battery all the way up, let it rest for 15 minutes, and then test it. And if you do have access to a Battery Beak, you can offer this as a service to other teams at the next tournament you attend. Do me a favor and subscribe to support more content related to the First Tech Challenge, and I'll see you at the field.